This is a Tape Deck podcast.
Hello and welcome back to Inside the Runner Studio. This is your host Tom, and with me as always are Aaron, Michael, and Diana.
Hi.
Hello.
I missed the countdown. I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
there was none. It's because Tom just likes to randomly start when we're very unprepared. I think he does it on purpose.
Here's the
to
thing.
get the reaction.
I'm going to need you all to calm down because we are in the presence of another very famous podcaster. We're joined by our friend Melissa. I was going to call you Mel, but I was like, I don't know you that well. I'm like, I can't shorten it. What are we on nickname terms all of a sudden?
It's like I just met her 30 seconds ago.
Yeah. The best is when you try and look her up, though, because her last name also starts the same way her first name does. So when you try and look her up by race,
by race,
at a race.
We don't do that anymore, Aaron.
At a race, while she's doing a race, you try and look her up by her name. She never comes up. It's very annoying.
Oh man, when I ran New York City, I couldn't find, I don't know, something I needed for the expo. And so when they tried to look my name up, it brought up every single Melissa that was running the New York City Marathon.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh
and
my
because
God.
your second name is not helpful because it starts with MELI again. It's like,
Yeah.
what? Like, it confuses the system every time.
It does. It looks great on paper, but it confuses computers. My last name is Meli, M-E-L-I, and that's just what my last name is. But I did find out recently-ish that my dad and my mom were picking my name. Partially, they picked it because it looked kind of cool. So, yeah.
There you
Fair.
go.
There it is.
Good a reason as any.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Melissa or Mel.
Yes.
Because we go.
Mel is, now that we are close friends, you can call me Mel.
Okay.
But I do go by Melissa generally.
All right. All right.
He's like, I'm the only one. I'm
right.
the only one that's going to do it.
All right, so you know the drill. We're going to ask you some running-related questions, some non-running related questions, and get to know you. But before we do, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Melissa Bailey, as I just said. And I started running almost 5 years ago at this point, almost 5 years. I do acting in my life. That's my favorite job. But I don't get to do it all the time. So I do other things to make money, as we all need to. I live in New York. I love dogs. And yeah, I started running after I had cancer and figured that Run Disney was probably not as hard as chemo. Turns out true. And then, I became addicted. So here we are.
Amazing. And Tom, you I don't know if you knew this or not, but she played Princess Buttercup.
I did.
What?
Yeah.
Inconceivable.
I assure you that word, I do not think it means what you think it means. My friend wrote a classical language version of The Princess Bride. So borrowing a lot from Shakespeare, but he also incorporated his own Shakespearean text to tailor it to the plot of Princess Bride. And we did this last year, and I was actually nominated for a Broadway World Award for my performance. So
Nice.
Congratulations.
That was really
God, we have so many famous people on our podcast
Seriously.
these days. It's like we're not worthy of this.
Oh, not at all, not at all.
We're
But
really
yeah,
not.
it was.
That's awesome. And speaking of podcasting, I hear you also have a podcast of your own.
I do. Myself and my friends Tristan and Tyler, we have a podcast called The Amateur Detective Club. We do not solve real mysteries. There is a disclaimer at the top, but we have been contacted by people that do want us to solve crimes for real.
Was it Tom?
Is it me?
What we actually do is we either read a book. We started with books, and then we realized that was a lot. So we mostly do movies and TV shows, murder mysteries. We've done a lot of Agatha Christie's Poirot. We have done the Kenneth Branagh Poirot as well, and we do Only Murders in the Building. We're on season 2. We're a little behind because we took an unplanned hiatus for over a year. 2 years? Oh gosh, yeah, we just kind of disappeared for a couple years, but we're back now.
It happens.
Yeah, things got crazy. Tristan moved to New Zealand for 6 months. It was a whole thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I listen. I think it's been my something good at some point. I think when I was re-listening to the Only Murders in the Building season 1, I think that I had it as my something good. So,
that's so
we
nice.
will link it in our bio or our show notes when we post this.
Thank you.
I just subscribed.
Thanks.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, but now I'm excited.
Yay.
I listen to none. I don't listen.
You used to.
That's fair.
I do. It's because I work from home now, so I don't listen as much.
Oh yeah, I listen to podcasts when I'm like doing dishes and making food and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Michael has a podcast on at all times.
That's not true.
Okay, either that or
Most
YouTube.
times.
Like 90% of the time, when you're like just doing something around the house, you have podcasts on. Like,
yeah,
mundane tasks.
Yeah, like you're always listening to a podcast.
I'm going to move past this awkwardness, and we are going to jump into the questions. And Diana's got our first running-related question.
What is your weirdest running habit, or do you have a running quirk?
Do I? That's a good one. That was one of the questions I went, what a thinker. So, do I have a quirk? I hate running with things around my waist. Like I've tried belts and they just always ride up. Everything rides up or slides around on my waist. So I guess I have realized that I like holding things in my hands, which was a surprise to me. Better than trying to affix things around my waist. Interesting.
Because most people, it's the opposite, where they don't want to hold anything.
Yeah. I don't love holding things, but it's better than trying to put stuff around my waist where it's just going to inevitably be in a place where I don't want it. So
that's fair.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of a quirk.
When you see another runner coming towards you, what do you do?
Oh, good. I'm glad I got this one because I live in New York City.
Oh.
So you see a lot of runners?
I see a lot of runners, and there's kind of just a contract we have in New York that, like, it's an unspoken social contract that we do not greet each other.
It's fair.
We just don't. It's not a rude thing, because I know that in a lot of places, most other places, it's considered rude to not acknowledge other people. Here, it's just like, please don't. There's just so much going on all around us. Let me have this moment of peace. And so every once in a while, there's a little nod or a smile or something, especially if I see someone in Run Disney gear, because then it's like, I know
my
you.
people.
Yes, exactly. But I have found another runner wearing like small Run Disney small shop stuff, just wandering around my my area. But yeah, no, we do not wave in New York City, and it's okay. You shouldn't.
Fair.
Let everyone be.
So what is your preferred race distance and why?
Yay. Oh, great. So I love a 10-miler.
Amen.
So much. It's the best. It's like a half marathon, which is also fine, except it's over 3.1 miles sooner.
Yeah.
It's, I think, the only race distance where I've successfully executed negative splits and like really been able to like hone in on it. Yeah, I love it so much because it feels very satisfying. But, you know, like that was a properly challenging distance, but I also don't feel like I'm going to, you know, need to recover for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and I feel like with a 10-mile, you always feel like you can go like a little bit faster. Like, I don't know, like those 3 miles mentally, you're like, all right, I got to save some of this. With like a 10-miler, you're like, I'm just going to put it all out there, and I can put it all out there like quicker than I would with a half.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is a 10-miler in New York that is the Bronx 10-miler. And it's a kind of a hilly race, but the thing about it that I like is that it's like up and down. Like, so you can always see the end of the hill and that you're going to get a downhill like right afterwards.
Ooh.
So it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And then the last mile goes downhill right in front of Yankee Stadium.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. So you could just let go. It's really fun.
This is how my brain works. I'm like, I want to do a New York race. I'm going to sign up for the Bronx 10 miler. I have no details. I don't know what it is. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like after Brittany runs a marathon, like we get like halfway through the movie. He's like, "You think we could run that?" And I was like, "There's a lot of logistics. Like this would be like a conversation. Like you can't just like sign up for the New York Marathon." Like,
Yes. And the movie is not entirely accurate about how to sign up for the marathon.
Yes,
That's fair.
agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
Yes.
So don't go by them.
Do you prefer group runs or solo runs?
ooh.
Solo runs. I always am very self-conscious about, am I holding people up? Or I have a particular goal, like, this is what I want to be doing today. And so I just want to do it myself. For races, I will run with friends, but like, when I'm training, I really do prefer to do it by myself.
Makes sense.
Same.
Right. Oh, I always love this question. What's the biggest mistake you've ever made during a race?
Oh my gosh. Wow. It's like I didn't see these questions, by the way, until like a half an hour before we got on this call because I just missed the email. So I didn't have a chance to be like, I would prefer you ask me this. So I was like, oh, I'm going to get what I'm going to get. And this is one of the ones that I really wanted to answer.
It's like we knew.
Yeah. Well, Erin, you do know because you were here for this one. When I went to Atlantic City to run the half marathon, I forgot, because Atlantic City is far enough away from New York that like I have to travel there and stay in a hotel, but it's not far away enough that I like planned it particularly well. So I packed, my running outfit. I packed at least 3 scrunchies to choose from. I remember a couple of different pairs of sunglasses just to make sure. I forgot a water bottle, like my handheld that I carry during races. And I forgot all of my fuel because that was in my water bottle, in the little pouch. And then, at night, my friends and I strategized. I had they got me a water bottle that I could make do with, but it wasn't going to be great to hold for 13.1 miles. Gave me a couple picky bars that I could have during the race. I ended up finding a goo that was unopened on the ground. And
It's
I
like
Wow.
a gift from the gods.
yeah, it was. I
This is
out
fate.
loud, I out loud thanked the person who dropped it. Violet will tell you that I did do that. And I was like, I hope you have enough, but thank you. And then, but right before the race, the morning of, I just started laughing because I realized I forgot a sports bra.
God.
That's like the worst thing to forget.
Honestly,
that's
I
worse
think
than
that's-
like you with your pants, Erin. I think
Yeah.
it's worse. Like,
Yeah. Because sports bras, so pants you can get, and like it's not great to like try new pants on race day, but like if you have a brand or something, you can try and find something. Whereas a bra is way more personal to like, how a person's like chest moves, and like some people like them tighter. So I feel like the
Yeah.
sports bra is way worse.
It was not great. So, after my cancer battle, I've had reconstruction. So they're not they don't move as much as they would have before. So there's that, but I haven't attempted to run a race without a sports
Without.
bra.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go. Violet had a strength training sports bra that she loaned me. So I had something because I was just going to wear a random bra that I have. Because I don't know. Thank goodness I wasn't trying for a PR or anything.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so turns out even with my my relatively non-moving boobs. Strength training bra does not cut it.
No.
Do not recommend. Thumbs down.
So you're saying that you should make sure you pack all your gear and your sports bras and stuff that you need for races.
Weirdly,
That's
yes.
the advice.
That's my advice. So that was the worst mistake I've made. Yeah.
All right, we're going to move into some random questions. What is your favorite way to waste time online?
Oh, okay. So either I will plan out like a fictional redecoration of an apartment. So like I'll just start shopping for theoretical couches and stuff, or I will try to solve I'll try to solve murders. Like, the Zodiac killer.
Or like
Ooh.
JonBenet Ramsey is the rabbit hole I go down all the time.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So or I'll learn, or I'll go on Wikipedia and start trying to figure out the British monarchy from like the time Shakespeare wrote about it. Because I'm like, which Edward was this again? And then I have to go back and be like, oh right, it was the Edward that was the son of this other Edward.
Wikipedia is a black hole though, because you start someplace and then somehow you click on something that's like adjacent but not quite there. And then that makes you go to something else that's adjacent, but not quite there to that. And then suddenly you went from the British monarchy to like Godzilla. And you're like, how did this happen?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it's great. It's a good time.
If you could be a member of any TV family, which would it be and why?
Okay. When I was a kid, it would have definitely been the Tanners from Full House. I loved them. The Danny weirdly reminds me of my dad a little bit. Not Bob Saget, Danny Tanner.
Yeah, two very different people.
Yeah, exactly. Just because Danny and my dad are so like gentle and kind. And so many TV dads were like, not mean, but like kind of more gruff and like tough, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, so definitely would have been that. Now I think that I would probably want to be like part of a Star Trek crew family. Like, like on Strange New Worlds, probably.
Nice.
Okay.
What was your first job and what did you like or dislike about it?
I was going to tell you about the job I had at a bakery when I was 16, and I liked that it was at a bakery, and that they gave me pies when we closed on Sundays. But my first actual job was when I was 3. I toured with New York City Opera as the little boy in Madame Butterfly.
Wow.
Yeah, that was super fun and cool. And I got to go into the orchestra pit and they told me all about the instruments, and I had like a whole big trek around the country when I was a little kid. My mom was the understudy for Butterfly. And so we had a really great time. It was like, it was work, but it was also very fun and lots of travel. So it was really
adorable.
Yeah, very cool.
What was your favorite type of pie?
At the bakery?
Yeah.
Cherry crumb.
Oh, okay.
Sounds fantastic.
Yes,
I love pie.
It was. Their crumb that they made at this bakery was so good. It was, I don't know what they did to it, but I think butter and sugar.
Those are two of my favorite ingredients. So
Yeah.
That'll do it. Oh, I think this is an interesting question as a New Yorker. Do you prefer the solitude of the wilderness or the bustle of the city?
I prefer the bustle of the city at the end of the day, but I do like the solitude of the wilderness as like a little retreat sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you have a little retreat. Like, don't you have a house, or doesn't Rich have a house?
Yes. My boyfriend has a house out in Pennsylvania, which is very rural and solid. It's actually kind of close to a street, but it's pretty quiet still. Yeah. very rural.
Yeah.
Out there.
I feel like you have, but because she was reading this question, I'm like, well, you kind of have the best of both worlds because you get to escape the city, even if you like the bustle of it, you still get like that little getaway to like, have the solitude.
Yeah, I like most things, honestly.
Yeah.
So I like a little bit of this and that. But I do. I like living in the city. I don't know. Feels right for me.
Yeah, I think that Michael pegged you with all these questions for whatever reason, because you are an actor or an actress. But if it was the other way, and if there was a movie about you, who would be the actress or actor that would play with you?
Oh gosh, because I don't know. I feel like I'd want to play myself, but that's probably not. Yeah. Well, who's going to do it better than me?
Sure.
It's true.
I don't know. Gosh, who would I trust? Amy Adams.
Oh, that's a good
yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I feel like she'd get me.
I like it.
That is a good one. All right, so now appropriately we head to the James Lipton, not Licton. That's not his name. James Lipton Memorial Questions. Rest in peace. So what is your favorite word?
All favorites are subject to change at any time. But currently, I think, love is a good one. I love love.
And what is your least favorite word?
Hate, on the other side of the coin.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Mel. What turns you on?
Wit.
Oh,
Ooh.
you're welcome.
So humor and smarts. Yeah.
And what turns you off?
I couldn't come up with like a non-negative version of this question, meaning like lack of compassion is what turns me off.
That's
yeah.
Yep. What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, I love the sound of rain. Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's a great one.
It's a great sound.
Yeah.
And then what sound or noise do you hate?
I really, really hate the sound of coughing now.
Is it because you're in New York?
Yeah, I think it is.
All over the streets. It's like everyone just.
Yeah, and of course, COVID did make this worse. I don't think it was as big of a hate until COVID, and now it's
very fair.
Yeah.
What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Can't be creative. It's just so versatile and good.
It's the classic.
Yeah, it is a good one.
Yeah.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I've always thought that I would really like decorating homes and whatnot, something like that, or like planning weddings, which is almost like putting together a play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you do randomly like to look up couches for redecoration, so it does make sense that you would like to be an interior decorator.
Yeah.
And what profession would you not like to do?
I don't want to be a doctor. That would be too much. Yeah. Especially for animals. No.
Oh,
yeah. After dealing with, unfortunately, vets a lot last year, it's like, I do not know how you do this. Also, I don't have steady hands, and that's a prerequisite, I think.
Yes.
Probably.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I just thought about the James Lipton SNL skit where it's Kate Hudson playing Drew Barrymore. And her response to that question is, she's like, I don't like when balls fly at my face. And like, that's all I was thinking.
I don't want to be a doctor because I don't want balls flying at my face.
Oh, God.
It was, what profession would you not? Balls flying at my face.
I mean, that's a good answer.
That is also fair.
Reminds me of Clueless.
Yes.
Yep. All right, Melissa. Well, I get the privilege of asking you a final question, but before I do, thank you very much for being on with us today. So Melissa, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Your mom and your dogs are right over here.
Oh,
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a good one.
Are there any parting words of wisdom? Any shout outs you'd like to give? Anything you'd like to plug?
Well, you're already plugging my podcast so well. But yes, please listen to Amateur Detective Club. We are nonsense people who like to talk about TV shows that we like. And we do go on lots of tangents. But we have a lot of fun. And please give us a 5-star rating. It'll really help us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are about as tangenty and ridiculous as we are. So
Nice,
if you
nice.
like our vibe, I would say it has a very similar vibe of just some friends talking about something that they enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. And my personal Instagram is at Melissa J. Maley _ Yeah. And that is, I post all my stuff there. I don't designate between theater and running and Disney and stuff. It's just all in one place. So that's fun. But
We will put links to everything in the show notes.
thank you. This has been so much fun, guys. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for having me on.
Yeah.
So happy to
Thank
have
you.
you.
All right. Well, I never know how to close these things out, but again, thank you very much. We appreciate it, and we will talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.